What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Mike, bringing to you another episode of Everyone Wants to Be Like Mike, presented to you by Notorious Pulls Radio. Today, I want to talk about a very special subject, all right? We're a month in to the NBA season. We've seen a lot of great games, all right? And today, this main point and the main subject is going to be, is it Steph versus KD versus Luka, and is Giannis in that conversation as well for the year? Right? Honestly, I'm gonna say from the get-go, Giannis is definitely in that conversation. But let's just start from the start. All right, and let's start with Steph Curry. All right, he's battling it out right now. All right, really battling it out right now for number one seat with KD. KD and him have been absolutely phenomenal. The veterans are showing what they're made of, all right? That they're not washed up, all right? That they really are. They still could put up those 30-point games and consecutively to those 25-point games, 27-point games in Kevin Durant's case. But in Kevin Durant's case, we're also talking about he hasn't missed not one game yet. He's been absolutely healthy, all right? And you know what? Again, let's just start off with Steph, all right? Steph, battling out with KD, like I said, he's getting way more involved with the Golden State Warriors than I've ever seen him in the past, okay? Truly, all right? He's getting more rebounds, all right, from 5.2 last year to 6.8, all right? He's getting more assists from 6.3 to 6.7. Yeah, it's not much, but you know what? That's an average of basically has called 6 assists to almost 7 assists a game. So that's a big difference, and you guys might not think it is. It really, really is. All right, it makes a big difference. That extra shot makes a very big difference. All right. He's also up dramatically in points, bro, from 25 to point 5 points to 33.3 points a game. All right, and threes from 4.5 threes a game to 5.4 threes a game, and not to mention his field goal percentage is up phenomenally. It's absolutely crazy. It's as if he's a center in the NBA, all right? And he's dropping down it from long range at 52.6% from the field, okay? From last year's 43.7%. That is such a huge jump, okay? That is almost a 10% difference, okay? Yes, we're only into the beginning of the season. There's only been 13 and maybe the 14 games in some cases, but he's had a phenomenal start to the season. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the guy has been taking over in the fourth quarter like he always does, all right? And he's been getting a lot more plays involved. Look at Andrew Wiggins, okay? Andrew Wiggins has been doing phenomenally next to him because he's feeding him. He's feeding him, all right? He's giving Andrew Wiggins the opportunity to be the player that Andrew Wiggins always should have been, all right? Like he was back in the Minnesota days. Okay, let's talk about his averages in general this year. Okay, like I said, he's averaging 33.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 1.1 steals, 5.4 3-pointers a game, shooting 52.6% from the field and 91, a whopping 91% from the line. 91%, okay? We always knew he's a great shooter, all right? We knew that. But his field goal percentage and his free throw percentage, his percentages are just up. It just looks amazing. His free throw percentage is only down by 1%, which is not that much, but still, he's over 90%. All right, he's over 50% from the field goal line. We're talking about a point guard. All right, this is phenomenal. It's phenomenal to see. All right, now he's still breaking records. All right, we're talking about Steph Curry here. You thought that you guys all maybe thought that he was not capable of doing so, but he's still breaking records, now being the oldest player since MJ in 2002 to drop consecutive 40-point games. Okay? He did it on November 7th against the Kings and on November 11th against Cleveland. Against Cleveland, a team, okay, by the way, which is they're absolutely phenomenal this year. They're doing their thing. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, okay, with Don Mitch there and Garland back healthy, doing his thing. I mean, I'm telling you, it's really, really, really great to see. And the Warriors are not stepping up. I mean, Steph is coming into the game every game saying, you know, it's not happening, man. It's not happening. It's not happening. You know what? We might have lost some games. We might be 6 and 7. I'm sorry about that. We might be how's it called? They had a soft, like, start to the season. But Steph Curry's the type of guy he's not gonna let go. He's not gonna let up. All right, just because they had a little slow start to the season does not matter. The Warriors, all right, are going to be amazing just because on Steph Curry's back, in my personal opinion. All right, he's all they need to do, the rest of the team needs to step up the game. Really, that's the truth. Okay, Jordan Poole is significantly down from last year. Okay, I'm not even going to tell you by how much, but he's significantly down. All right, how's it called? A lot of players need to be doing a lot more things, but Steph Curry is the bright light. He's a bright light next, and Andrew Wiggins is also a very, very nice surprise next to him. All right, now let's talk about Kevin Durant and the Nets. All right, the Nets right now are now 6-7 as of November 13th. All right, and since Kyrie left, since Steve Nash left, things have been bright for KD in a sense that, you know what, maybe it's not Kyrie, okay? But I'll tell you for a fact it's definitely Steve Nash. Okay, it's definitely Steve Nash. Everything is being focused around KD now, like it always should have been. All right, KD is the number one option of that team. Okay, even with Kyrie there, everybody should understand that KD is the number one option. All right, maybe that was the issue between why they lost so many games at the beginning of the season. Maybe that was the issue. Yes, Kyrie and KD were dropping each about like what, over 25 points a game, and they were still losing. All right, so maybe there was a little bit of a confusion going on who the team should be rallying around. Usually, when there's two big dogs on the team, it's usually a problem. All right, and in this case, it kind of showed. It kind of showed. He started winning games. Okay, KD and the Nets have started winning games ever since Steve Nash and Kyrie have left. All right, they're 6-7, like I said. Okay, and honestly, I I think that KD is showing everybody what he's actually capable of, because you know what, everybody thought less of him this year. Even in fantasy basketball drafts, he was going he's going sixth, seventh, in some places he was going eighth. Okay, I drafted him, how's it called, eighth in my one of my leagues, which is ridiculous because he's a top two player now. All right, from a fantasy perspective, I mean, but in regardless, from a real life perspective, he's still a top two player. Him and Steph, you know what it is? Steph would have been that. No, he's at that number one seat, but he's missed one or two games. Missed, so that's probably why. That's what factors in. Okay, but still, they have been going neck and neck. And the funny part about it is that they're previous teammates. All right, they're neck and neck at 1 and 2. All right, what's gonna happen? We absolutely don't know. But you gotta understand the first. Okay, Durant already had 5 30+ point games. All right, and with his lowest game being at 26 points against the Mavs, okay, and then the recent loss that they had, 96-94, okay, we all thought they were going to win and they lost, right? But it was 96-94. They were literally neck and neck, right? He had 26 points that game, and that was the lowest amount of points that he's gotten this season, okay, with the second one being against the Pacers on the October 29th, okay? I mean, he's been phenomenal also. So I honestly, I can't say anything bad about him. I want to say that they're gonna be neck and neck this whole entire year, and I want to say that they're gonna meet in the finals, but I can't predict something like that because like the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference are looking both very dangerous this year. Okay, they really are. Okay, so it's really hard to predict where everybody's gonna land, but the Warriors are definitely gonna be in the playoffs. All right, and so will the Nets. I mean, it's guaranteed. All right, we're talking about the two teams right now that are showing that they are all-star caliber teams, that they are, okay, championship caliber teams. All right, so to see otherwise, okay, would be pretty dumb. And let's move on. A little bit of let's talk about Luka right now. Luka is breaking, like, I mean, he's doing incredible things, all right? Literally averaging almost a triple double a game with 34.3 points, 8.7 rebounds. Yes, he dipped from 9.1 from last year. 8.1 assists this year, dipping from 8.7 last year. He's getting two steals a game, all right? Almost a block, and 2.3s a game. Yes, again, dipped from 3.1 last year. But that doesn't seem to be an issue. He's shooting 50% from the field. He's shooting 75% from the line, okay? Luka has literally 40 triple doubles in his career, which is the same amount as the whole entire Mavericks franchise. Okay? That's absolutely incredible. Okay, you're telling me in all the franchise's history, and they've only gotten 40 triple doubles, and Luka has already met that quota, which means that he's about to have more triple doubles this year than the whole entire franchise together. All right, that's just incredible. All right, the guy is literally amazing. All right, and he's winning games. It's clear he's the one winning the games, and if anybody expected any less from him, I really feel sorry for you guys because Luka is going to be okay a top one player for years to come. I'm telling you that right now. It might not be this year, might not be by next year, okay? But I'm telling you right now, when within the next 3-4 years, all right, and years to come after that, he's gonna be that guy. He's gonna be that number one player. He's gonna be breaking records, all right? He's absolutely incredible. All right, he has nine consecutive 30 plus point games to the start of the season, which is the second longest streak since Wilt Chamberlain in 1962 in his 1962 season. Okay, 1962 season. We are talking about 60 years ago. All right, and Luka is doing this. You got to understand. Yes, all right. Will Chamberlain did what was it, 23 games straight consecutively, 30 plus games. But this is a totally different era. You can't compare Luka to Will Chamberlain. All right, this is a totally different era. This is 6 years later. Okay, the game changes every 10, 15 years. You see how these generational players are changing the game. When Bayama coming in next year, he's gonna change the game to a totally different level. Okay, so Luka can't be like, you can't really expect 23 games out of him. The game is a little bit more sophisticated now. There's a little bit more to it now, okay? It's not throwing any shade on Will Chamberlain in any type of way because during his time, during his era, he was the best player. He broke every single record. He still holds on to a lot of records. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I'm just saying that we need to temper our expectations when it comes down to that. 23 consecutive 30 plus games for a player is absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely crazy. It's hard to believe, and that's why it hasn't happened in so long. And that's why nine consecutive games for Luka holding the second longest streak makes sense. Okay, people don't get that. So again, Luka is absolutely phenomenal. All right, and on top of that, his streak of 30 points ended, unfortunately, it ended, okay, with 24 points on November 9th, okay, against the Magic when they lost, and 22 points on November 10th against Washington. Now, look, again, you can't expect him to drop 30 points a game every single game. But look, it's only 2 games. And look, the game after that, he went up November 12th against the Portland and hit 42 points, okay? That's the second largest scoring game that he had this year, all right? It's absolutely phenomenal. He had 42-point triple double with 13 rebounds, 10 assists, two steals, one block, one triple. Okay, the guy's breaking literally, like showing the whole entire world that he's unstoppable. And what I love about him is in every single game he's laughing. He's talking to his players. Have you ever like heard him speak to his players and giving them the motivation that they need to his teammates? And it's wonderful to see in such a young guy. That's what I mean. A lot of young guys, they want to show off. They want to prove themselves. And yes, Luka is really great at doing that, but he gets his team involved, man. He gets his team involved. He understands that he cannot do it alone. All right, that's what I really love about him. Okay. Now, look, they're 7-5 in the season right now. They're tied for sixth with New Orleans and the LA Clippers. All right, but I think the Mavs are a far superior team than both those, both the New Orleans, both and I'm sorry, the LA Clippers, right? The LA Clippers, they're nice, all right, but they're not as good as the Mavs. The Mavs, I see them still being a top four seed this year. I mean, it's a little bit early to tell, but again, I still see them being a top four seed this year without a doubt. Okay, and to explain his little dip in assists and I mean in rebounds and threes, you could just maybe talk about Christian Wood for a little bit. Like you gotta understand, Christian Wood is not the type of center that takes a little bit amount of shots and gets blocks. Okay, like he's a rebounder. He shoots a lot and he gets you your threes. So I can see why he took a little dip in 3 points. Okay, in his 3 pointers, and he took a little dip in his rebounds. Okay, understandable, right? And his dip in assists is really not much at all. It's but point four, so it's nothing. Okay, now again, this segment is about the four of these players. All right, where are they going to come out? Where are they going to come out We'll see. All right. I just wanted to speak about them, describe them. Honestly, just look at a couple of games, a couple of clips of what these four could do. All right. They are neck and neck. All right. And it's absolutely incredible. All right. Now, Giannis, everybody's gonna say, "Oh yeah, he's been out. He's been out with his knee injury, blah blah this and that." But I don't care. All right, he's averaging 31.8 points a game, 12.2 rebounds a game, 5.3 assists, 1.1 steals, 1.4 blocks, and almost a three a game, shooting on 54.2% from the field and 64.9% from the line. Unfortunately, most of that is due to the fact that he had a dip, okay, in threes made and assists, but the biggest issue is that he's significantly down in free throw percentage. All right, that's the only issue with him. Regardless of all that, we know Giannis. We know that he deserves to be in this discussion. All right, and he's absolutely amazing. There's no argument. There can't be an argument for that. Okay. Yes, 10 years ago, nobody knew who he was, and that's why I should give you even more understanding of how great he is. 10 years ago, nobody knew who he was. Okay. You wouldn't even be able to tell me, all right, 10 years ago that he was drafted. Okay. But all of a sudden, all right, you know why he's doing so well? It's because every single year he started bettering every single aspect of his game. Okay, he saw this year I did so horrible I didn't get as many rebounds as I wanted. I didn't get him as many assists as I wanted. Okay, I didn't get. I'm doing horrible from a mid range. I'm doing horrible from long range. Whatever the case may be, all right. He started improving upon those specific categories. He finds the flaws in his game and improves upon them. Okay, so yes, he took a dip in free throw percentage. Okay, but in every single other aspect of his game, he assists were unknown to him. Okay, he's putting up basically 5 assists a game. Okay. All right, he's up in rebounds. He's up in absolutely everything. He's putting up over 30 points a game. I mean, there's nothing you could say about him. He's absolutely phenomenal. 1.1 steals, 1.4 blocks. He's literally an all-around player. Okay, both ends of the field. And I can guarantee you next year when we talk about this, we're gonna see how he's gonna take a look. He's gonna say, "Oh shit, you know what? How is I shooting under 70% from the line? Like he expects more from himself. All right." And that's why I love him so much, and he's going to do it. I'm telling you, he's going to go up in the free throw percentage by next year. We're going to talk about it, all right? Now, look, regardless of all that, nobody's worried about him. We all know that. The Bucks are number one, sitting 10-2 in the East, all right? And yes, fantasy-wise, his ADP was basically at number 2, and he's ranked 24th now. But everybody got to understand something. If you're in a punt free throw build when it comes to fantasy basketball, okay, he's basically the number 1, number 2, number 3 player, right? So don't worry about that. Just let it be. I mean, Giannis is not known for his free throws. You should have known that when you were drafting him. Okay, my insight simply on him is that he's phenomenal. He really is the Greek creep. He does things that others cannot do, and he is definitely the most skilled all-around player in the NBA. Okay, if you have any arguments with that or any arguments about anything I've said today, please comment on our podcast. Okay, comment on our episodes, right? On our clips on Instagram. I would gladly get to all your questions. I'll gladly have a healthy debate with you about what's going on. All right. Once again, everybody, thank you. This is Mike, your host.